Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers.
Glad to be back.
Today we're going to dive deep into Sanofi's Q4 and full year 2024 earnings call.
Yeah, they just released some major news.
And we're here to help you understand it.
That's right. We're going to break it all down for you.
Okay, so first let's give everyone the big picture. Sanofi reported another quarter of double-digit sales growth.
Yep.
That's their 39 in a row.
It is.
They finished the year with over 41 billion euros in net sales.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, pretty mind-blowing.
A lot of that success comes from their product DuPixen,
Right.
which totally crushed its 13 billion euro sales target for the year.
Yeah.
Then you've also got Befortus, their RSV monoclonal antibody for infants, that hit blockbuster status in just its first year on the market.
Wow, blockbuster status in year one.
I know, right?
It's got to be some kind of record.
It's pretty amazing.
It generated almost 1.7 billion euros in sales.
Yep.
So for those who might not know,
Yeah.
what exactly RSV and why is Befortus such a big deal?
So RSV stands for respiratory syncytial virus.
Okay.
And it's super common. Almost every kid gets it by the time they're 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For most kids, it's not a huge deal. They get mild cold-like symptoms.
I see.
But for some babies, especially those born prematurely or with other health issues,
Right.
it can be really serious. It can cause complications like bronchiolitis or pneumonia.
Oh, wow.
Befortus helps protect these vulnerable infants from getting that sick.
So it's not just a financial win for Sanofi then.
Nope.
It's actually meeting a real need
Right.
and potentially even saving lives.
Exactly.
Got to feel good.
Absolutely.
So they've already reached over 6 million babies worldwide with Befortus,
Uh-huh.
with even bigger plans for 2025.
That's right.
But let's not forget about DuPixen.
Right.
It's not just for eczema anymore,
Yeah, it's not just dominating that market. It's approved for a bunch of other conditions now, too.
like COPD.
Yeah, like COPD.
Now, COPD, that's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, right?
Oh my God.
It's a serious lung disease that makes it really hard to breathe.
Exactly.
So how's DuPixen doing in the COPD market?
It's still early, but the feedback has been really encouraging so far,
Okay,
both from doctors and patients.
that's good.
Sanofi expects it to be a major growth driver for them this year.
So we've got these blockbuster launches driving growth.
Yeah.
But Sanofi isn't just resting on their laurels, are they?
Nope.
What are they doing to keep this success going?
Well, they're investing a lot in research and development,
Oh, wow.
particularly in areas like rare diseases and immunology.
Interesting.
They've got a bunch of potential new drugs in the pipeline.
Like what?
Well, for example, fitusiran for hemophilia,
Okay.
riluzabrutinib for ITP,
Uh,
and tolabrutinib for multiple sclerosis.
okay, hold on a sec.
Sure.
You just threw out a bunch of really complex terms there.
No, sorry about that.
Can you break those down a bit for us?
Of course. So hemophilia is a genetic bleeding disorder where blood doesn't clot properly, which leads to a lot of bleeding. ITP, or immune thrombocytopenia, that's when the immune system attacks platelets.
And those are essential for clotting, right?
Yes, exactly. And multiple sclerosis, or MS, that one's a chronic disease affecting the central nervous system.
So Sanofi is going after some pretty serious and debilitating diseases with these potential treatments.
Yeah, they are.
It's good to hear.
It really is. It shows that they're not just interested in profits. They really want to make a difference.
So they're investing heavily in R&D,
Mm-hmm.
but are they in good shape financially?
Oh, they're in a really strong position.
Good.
They're projecting mid to high single-digit sales growth for 2025,
Oh, okay.
plus low double-digit growth in business EPS.
Wow.
And get this, they're also planning a 5 billion euro share buyback program.
Share buybacks, that's good for investors, right?
It is.
Because it means the company believes their stock is undervalued.
Exactly. And it shows they're willing to back that up with their own money.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yep.
So they're investing in R&D.
Yes.
They're in great financial shape,
Uh-huh.
but they must be facing some challenges too, right?
Well, yeah, like any business.
What are they?
One thing they're keeping a close eye on is the Inflation Reduction Act in the U.S.,
Okay.
especially how the changes to Medicare Part D will play out.
Right, because Medicare Part D covers prescription drugs for seniors.
Exactly.
So any changes there could impact Sanofi's pricing and profits.
That's right. But they're confident they can handle these changes, and they've already accounted for them in their 2025 projections.
Good.
They're also being proactive by streamlining their portfolio. They're selling off some of their consumer health business to focus on their core strength.
So basically they're saying, hey, we're really good at this biopharmaceutical stuff,
Yeah.
and we're going to double down on it.
Exactly. It's like a boxer getting rid of any extra weight before a big fight.
That's a great analogy. So they're streamlining, but they're not shying away from competition either, right?
No, not at all. They know that other companies are developing RSV treatments,
Right.
but they believe Befortus has a competitive edge.
How so?
Well, it's based on its real-world effectiveness and safety data.
So it'll be interesting to see how that market develops as more players enter.
It will.
But for now, it looks like Sanofi is holding their own.
Definitely.
And they're not just focused on RSV, right?
Nope.
They're building what they call an aggressive franchise in vaccines.
Yeah.
They're even working on an intranasal RSV vaccine for toddlers.
Yeah, which would be amazing.
An intranasal vaccine, meaning through the nose, right?
You got it.
No needles.
No needles.
That could be huge.
Think about it, so much easier for parents, especially with toddlers who are afraid of needles.
It's brilliant. Sanofi is really thinking outside the box here.
They are. They're not just focused on now, but on shaping the future of vaccine delivery.
Okay, so they're doing great with their current products.
Yeah.
They're investing in a promising pipeline.
Uh-huh.
And they're making strategic moves to stay ahead of the game.
You're right.
Is there anything else that stood out to you from this earnings call?
You know what really impressed me?
What's that?
Their commitment to global health.
Oh, yeah.
They climbed all the way to 3rd place in the Access to Medicine Index.
The what?
Access to Medicine Index.
What's that?
It basically evaluates how pharmaceutical companies are addressing access to medicine in low and middle income countries.
So it's not just about profits for them.
Nope.
They're actually trying to make a global impact.
Exactly.
Interesting.
They were recognized for their work in R&D, product delivery, and ensuring access to essential medicines.
So they're not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
They're walking the walk.
That's right.
That's really inspiring.
It is. It shows that even big corporations can be a force for good.
Absolutely.
And that doing good can be good for business, too.
Right.
Sanofi's focus on global health is likely to open up new markets and opportunities for them.
So it's a win-win situation.
Exactly. They're improving global health and positioning themselves for future growth.
Now let's dive a bit deeper into some specifics.
Okay.
I'm curious about these potential new drug launches they mentioned.
Yeah.
You mentioned fitusiran for hemophilia.
Yes. Fitusiran is designed to prevent bleeding episodes in people with hemophilia.
Right.
It's a totally new approach to treatment,
Interesting.
and it could dramatically improve the quality of life for people with this condition.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be a real game changer for them.
Okay. And you also mentioned riluzabrutinib for ITP.
Right. Riluzabrutinib, it targets a specific protein in the immune system.
Okay.
It helps prevent the destruction of platelets.
So it could be a new option for people with ITP,
Exactly.
especially those who don't respond to current treatments or have bad side effects.
Exactly. It's all about giving patients more choices and finding what works best for them.
Right. And then there's tolebrutinib for multiple sclerosis.
Yep, that's right.
And that's designed to slow the progression of disability.
Uh-huh. A major concern for people with MS?
Yeah, MS can really impact people's lives.
Absolutely.
So any treatment that can slow that down would be huge.
It would, and tolebrutinib is looking pretty good in trials.
So we've got these promising new drugs in the pipeline,
Yeah.
but what about their current pipeline?
Well, there are a couple worth mentioning.
Yeah.
We have a new pneumococcal vaccine for kids
Okay.
that's currently in phase 3 trials.
Pneumococcal disease can be pretty dangerous for little kids.
It can be.
So a new vaccine could make a big difference.
It really could. Vaccines are one of the most effective ways to prevent disease.
So it's great to see them investing in that area.
It is, and this new vaccine is even better.
How so?
It protects against more pneumococcal strains than current vaccines.
So it's like an upgraded version?
You got it.
That's great.
And then there's Duvakitug.
Duvakitug. What's that for?
That one's for inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD.
Okay, IBD. That's a tough one.
It affects the digestive system and can be really hard to manage.
So how does Duvakitug work?
It targets a specific protein that's key in the inflammation process.
So it's a more targeted approach?
Yep.
Maybe fewer side effects then.
That's the hope.
It's showing good results in phase 2 trials.
It is.
And they're also exploring using it for other inflammatory conditions.
That's right. So it could have a lot of potential.
So it seems like they're unlocking all these new possibilities with these therapies.
Medical research is an exciting field.
It is. There's always something new being discovered.
And the potential to improve people's lives is huge.
I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier.
Sure.
Sanofi's decision to sell off part of their consumer healthcare business.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a pretty big move.
It was.
Why did they do it?
Basically, they wanted to focus more on being a biopharmaceutical company.
I see.
Selling their consumer health business frees up resources to invest in their core areas.
So it's like they're saying, we're good at this biopharma stuff, let's go all in.
Exactly. And by divesting, they become leaner and more specialized.
Okay, so it's a calculated risk.
Okay.
It is.
But it could really pay off.
It could, and investors seem to be on board.
How so?
Their stock price has been doing well since they announced the move.
Okay, let's talk about the financials. Sure. Talk about sales and earnings. But what about profitability?
Oh, they're definitely profitable. Their operating profit grew by 10% last year,
Wow.
reaching 12.3 billion euros.
Okay. And their business earnings per share.
That increased by over 4%.
Not bad.
And they even beat their own guidance.
So they're growing and doing it profitably.
Yep, they've hit that sweet spot.
Their financial strength gives them flexibility to invest in R&D, make acquisitions, and reward their shareholders.
Right. And speaking of rewarding shareholders...
Yes. You mentioned buybacks earlier. What else are they doing?
Well, they're also increasing their dividend for the 30th year in a row.
That's impressive.
It is a really remarkable track record.
Shows a real commitment to their shareholders.
Yeah, gives investors confidence that they're well managed and focused on long-term growth.
And it's not all about the numbers either, right? No, it's not.
Sanofi is also focusing on ESG, environmental, social, and governance factors.
That's right. They're working to reduce their impact on the environment, promote diversity and inclusion, and make sure they operate ethically.
It's not just about profits anymore, is it?
No, it's not. More and more investors are looking for companies that align with their values.
And Sanofi seems to be doing that.
They do. They're financially solid, investing in innovation, committed to global health, and prioritizing ESG.
So they're checking a lot of boxes.
They are.
Okay, let's talk about something else that's been making headlines.
Okay.
These rumored U.S. manufacturing subsidies.
Yeah, what about them?
It seems like there's been a lot of talk about it.
There has.
What's the latest?
Well, nothing's official yet.
Right.
But Sanofi has said they're open to expanding their U.S. manufacturing.
If it makes sense strategically.
Exactly.
They already manufacture a lot in the U.S., don't they?
They do. About 25% of their marketed products come from the U.S.
So it's a wait-and-see situation.
For now it is.
But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Especially with all the talk about boosting domestic manufacturing.
Okay, we've covered a lot today.
We have.
From blockbuster launches to R&D to strategic moves and global health.
It's been a lot.
What are your final thoughts?
I think the main takeaway is that Sanofi is really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They're doing well financially, investing in new treatments, expanding into new markets, and making a positive impact globally.
They seem to have a bright future.
They do. They're definitely a company to watch.
Now, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
it's time for our This Is Not Financial Advice segment.
Okay, bring on the speculation.
So we talked about Sanofi's focus on vaccines
Right.
and innovative delivery methods.
Uh-huh.
What if we look at companies developing microneedle technology?
Microneedles. Interesting. Tell me more.
Imagine a painless patch that delivers a vaccine through the skin.
So no needles at all.
No needles,
Right.
no anxiety, just a simple way to get vaccinated.
That would be amazing, especially for kids and people who are afraid of needles.
Exactly. And Sanofi, they're all about patient-centric solutions.
Right.
So they could be a player in this space.
It would definitely align with their mission of making healthcare easier.
So while this is purely speculative
Of course.
and not financial advice,
Definitely not.
it might be worth watching companies working on this technology.
It's a good thought.
The future of vaccines could be a lot less prickly thanks to this.
Less prickly, more effective. I like it.
Okay, that's it for today's deep dive into Sanofi's earnings call.
Hope you enjoyed it.
As always, do your own research before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with another exciting earnings call soon.
We will.
Until then, happy investing, everyone. So there you have it, everyone. Sanofi's Q4 and full year 2024 earnings call, broken down, talk ticker style. What stood out to you most?
Well, I think what's really fascinating is that Sanofi is in such a strong position. They're not just growing, but they're really investing in their future, especially in R&D, and focusing on their strengths in biopharmaceuticals.
Yeah, and those share buybacks and that impressive dividend streak, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Absolutely. It shows they have confidence in their own future.
And it's not just about the bottom line. Either their commitment to global health and ESG, that really makes them stand out.
It does. It shows that they're thinking about more than just profits. They want to make a real difference in the world.
Yeah, they're setting a good example for other companies.
They really are. They're proving that a company can be both profitable and purpose-driven.
And that intranasal RSV vaccine for toddlers, that's a great example of their innovative thinking.
Definitely. They're not afraid to think outside the box and challenge the way things are usually done in healthcare.
All right, so we've covered a lot today, from Sanofi's financial performance to their new products, their R&D pipeline, even some speculative trade ideas.
It's been a great deep dive into Sanofi's world.
As always, remember to do your own research before making any investment decisions.
Always good advice.
But hopefully this episode gave you some things to think about.
It has for me.
That's it for this week's deep dive into Sanofi's earnings call.
See you next time.
We'll be back soon with another exciting earnings call. Until then, happy investing, everyone.